Holiday shopping season is in full swing. Take a look at the numbers. It is set to be a record Monday, record Cyber Monday. $7.8 billion expected to be spent today on Cyber Monday. To shift online, that was highlighted on the Wall Street Journal article this morning titled this, Store Traffic Falls Again on Black Friday, but not all news is bad. Joining us right now is the International Council of Shopping Center CEO, Tom McGee. And Tom, it's good to see you again. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Last time you were here was about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, and you said the fourth quarter is going to be a blowout in terms of spending. What did you see on Black Friday, and what does that tell you about what's to come for the overall holiday shopping season?
I still think it's going to be a blowout.
You do?
I do. And I was actually surprised by the Journal's headline, because our statistics were that actual traffic increased over the holiday from last year. We had 151 million people. Our estimate went out shopping this weekend versus 145 million last year. So I think Black Friday was great. This weekend was great. I think Cyber Monday will be strong, and I expect the rest of the holiday season to be very, very strong. All the members I spoke to reported very strong results this weekend.
Well, we were talking about how Black Friday and Cyber Monday really shifted to be more a whole weekend event, and then Cyber Monday is becoming Cyber Week. And so I think that's increasing a lot of this presence. But do you think that's going to cause things, the enthusiasm about it to die down in the future? Or do you think this is a smart strategy?
Well, I think I think the term Cyber Monday infers that everything just happens online. What is really happening in retail is a merging of the physical and digital world. I mean, you hear a lot of statistics around click and collect, where people buy things online, they go pick them up in a store. In fact, that is happening. I think that also the retailers have become much better at leveraging the strength of having a physical store to drive web traffic as well. So we have a recent report out called the Halo Report, which is when you have a store, your web traffic, when you open up a store, your web traffic in that geographic area goes up by 37%. So there's this real synergistic relationship. I think sometimes the discussion in the media becomes fairly simplistic around online versus physical, but I think there's a real renaissance happening in retail that speaks to the convergence that's taking place, and the consumer just doesn't care. They want it conveniently, most effectively, and price sensitively.
Tom, we're still over-retailed in terms of the number of square footage. We have just under 24 square feet per capita in our country, and I think Germany has 10% of that. Is this store closing trend just going to be something that continues as you said, we're starting to figure out how to get the digital and the physical world to work together, but just looking forward. And the reason why I ask, I don't want investors to see store closing is necessarily a bad thing. It could be a good thing.
Well, I think what's happened is those retailers that have tended to close stores and/or went bankrupt were those that didn't invest in their store network and didn't keep the experience fresh. So I think in one hand, you're having a lot of retailers now invest in their store network, where the last 10 years were really an investment in the digital properties. The next 10 years, I really do believe, is about investing in the store network to bring those relationships together. But to your point around the the global statistics, I think in the U.S. we have historically been very department store centric in the composition of retail, where the rest of the world had a lot more entertainment, food and beverage, et cetera. And what you're seeing now is, as those stores happen, a conversion of that department store footprint into things like leisure, entertainment, et cetera, which speaks to demographic trends, right? Aging baby boomers, they like to go out to eat and entertain. Young millennials, pre-kids, they like to do the same.
Well, it's not a joke. I say this all the time, but Cheesecake Factory is the anchor tenant.
It's an anchor tenant,
in a lot of shopping areas. And when Charcy Evers was on Friday, and she's a retail analyst, and she said a lot of this mall and shopping center space that might be vacant is getting taken up by pop-up shops. I know that we have the founder of Brooklinen coming on, but again, it's this rotating lineup of retailers that are in these malls, like even the one out in Garden City, Long Island, which I think is owned by Westfield Properties, that you get this kind of refresh every 3 months, every 6 months with these pop-ups moving in. And so a lot of times it's an online retailer like Brooklinen that moves in to fill a vacant store space.
Well, you're seeing there's a huge amount of demand by online-only retailers moving into physical space. And in fact, we have a big show in a couple weeks, a New York Dealmaking show, and we'll have a section completely devoted to online digital native retailers that are moving into physical space because of the symbiotic relationship. And really to grow your brand and brand awareness, you need to have that physical location.
So what's wrong then with the markets? I mean, Dagan mentioned a number of stocks earlier, like a Target that's down 20% in a month, others down 22% in a month. Markets incredibly nervous about a growth slowdown. You keep saying we're going to get a blowout and everything is great with the consumer, and you're not the only one. We just had Mr. Sadov, former CEO of Saks, said the same thing. What's the market worried about then?
I don't know. If I knew that, I wouldn't be doing this.
I mean, oftentimes the market is anticipating things. You know that.
But listen, if you look at a list of major retailers, the only one of the ones that Fox Business is tracking that is up is Fred's, which is basically a pharmacy. Yeah. That's the only one of any major retailer that's up, and a lot of them are down double digits, Maria. It's just Abercrombie and Fitch, JCPenney, Nordstrom, Target, even Kohl's is down 16%.
Is the market worried about margins, like Jonas
I think
was on
certainly
Friday?
margins are part of it. Looking at the coverage, I think obviously the cost of fulfillment, shipping costs are obviously significant. That's why I think those retailers that do a good job of leveraging their physical store footprint are in a very good competitive situation because they're bringing the consumer to the store. And we also know when those consumers come to the store to pick up something that they bought online, they tend to buy something else. And so that convergence is really, really important, that you build a kind of a coordinated strategy.
All right, we will leave it there. Tom, it's great to get your insight.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, Tom McGee, joining us there.